All right, guys, we're back for round 10's review for 2023 Supercoach. Not a terrible week, honestly. Like 2470, 9 times out of 10, you were absolutely happy with. This week, though, I've seen way too many, like 2600 scores for my liking. So I would actually say that this is kind of on the poorer side, 2400. Did drop in rank, not a huge amount. It's definitely something that you can probably recap in a week or two. Still like up there with the highest I've ever been. So again, I'm playing with house money here when it comes to rank. I should not be this high, considering how my season started. Let me just undo these. You definitely didn't see those. So, getting to the team. Like I said, the score wasn't too bad. It's just kind of rookies went off, and then some premiums didn't. Dawson was all right, I thought. Didn't catch this game, was at the cinema instead, but from recaps and stuff I've seen, Dawson was fine. I don't think there was really anything like poor from him, just a low score. Zeeble, obviously, there's the whole Clarkson situation, which I'm not going to get into. But with Ratton did change a couple of things strategically. With some younger guys coming in, there could be a bit of a change on how Zeeble approaches each possession. We'll see, though. 88's not terrible, considering like how the game went. They probably should have won, honestly, like if it wasn't for the whole interchange problem, and then there was a couple of frees that were questionable. They honestly were in that to win it, so it's not a terrible effort from North. And we'll get into one of them, which is just I love talking about it because it's a great story. We'll get into it once we get to the forwards. Tom Stewart was also fine. Again, didn't catch much at Geelong and Freo, but Freo somehow like kind of beat them everywhere around the ground. I guess I really underestimated how important Geelong's injury list would be. It didn't really occur to me just how much of their midfield is missing. Their defense isn't lacking all that much. I think it's Sam de Koning's out, and then the rest are kind of just retirements from last year and kind of just dudes not playing up to form. So it's a bit worrying to see them give up such a high score because their defense is, for the most part, aside from one player, which 10 rounds in you expect to be missing at least one guy. It's a bit distressing to see how it's not really holding up this year. Dacos was fine. It's not a 140 score, but he played really good against the Carlton side that really looked just disappointing, honestly. They've been disappointing all year. Expected a fair bit from them. I know a lot of people were like, oh, this is a top 4 team or something like that. I was saying that they're going to be fighting for top 8. Like, they're not guaranteed a top 8 spot, but this is even worse than that. This doesn't look like a top 8 team. If they sneak in, it has to be like they go on a run at the end of the year, which is definitely possible. Teams like Sydney have done that year after year after year. They kind of kick it up in the second half. Carlton needs something like that at the moment because the way they're playing and the scores they're producing just haven't been good enough. But, all credit to Collingwood. Collingwood have been the best team this year by far. I say that as someone that does not like Collingwood. They have been the best team of this year. I don't think that's controversial to say at all. It's just how is the way they're playing going to hold up in finals? Only 10 rounds in, though. Anything can happen. Sheasel was good. Saw him go forward a bit, and it's good to see that even with kind of a split game, he can still score pretty good. It's not like there've been players in the past that Himmelberg, for instance, right? In the defense, he's an amazing scorer. Goes up forward, and he's like average at best. So good to see that he goes up. He can still maintain a score. I think he had 2 goals. Yeah, 2 goals, 2 behinds. Possessions, I mean, it's over 20 still. It's 25. You take it, like if he can stay around the 25 possession mark, get in a couple of tackles in there, a couple of marks, a couple of freebies and stuff like that. This is still a great player. it'll be very interesting to see how how he lines up this week. Given it's like there's no Clarkson involvement this week at all. Who do they have? Collingwood. I would play him as a defender this week. I think if you play him as a forward, you run the chance of him getting iced out of the game. So I'd play him as a defender. And then Rory Atkins, who needed a big week, honestly, after a poor week last week when I brought him in against a team that he really should have scored pretty well against. 102 against Brisbane. That is pretty good. I mean, it is a big game for them, the Q Clash, but it's good to see him step it up against the higher echelon teams. There's not... 20 touches, that's good to see. 7 marks, shows that he's getting a couple of the cheapies. Tackles, the halfbacks don't tackle. And then I guess he didn't hit the scoreboard at all. But you can't necessarily expect that from a defender. Yeah, pretty good all around. His break even should... Yeah, what's that? What'd that say? -3? Yeah. Or is that just... No, that's just normal 3. All right. So that's still good. Like, who they got this week? The Dogs at TIO. I don't know where that is. What is TIO Stadium? I think that might be Darwin. Might be. It might be. Chinkata didn't play, which was a bit disappointing because now look at how dead this bench is. No scores above 50 on the bench is pretty poor. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do with him. Does he come back in this week? I don't know. Did anyone on Carlton get hurt this week? Off the top of my head, no, I can't recall anyone. But, maybe it was like he was dropped or it was a management type of thing. We'll wait and see. I really would like it if he's playing, though, because it's just better to have an option to loop here. Even if I'm going to play Atkins almost every week, I'd like to have the option to loop here. Onto the midfield, Bont was good. Expected a little bit better, just given Ballarat. But there was a bit of a scare at the end where he got... it was like midway through, where his ankle got caught under in a tackle. Haven't heard anything about it, so he must have just been able to get up and keep going. No, like, severe injury or anything. If he went down, given the injury news we have this week, it would be devastating. But yeah, pretty good from Bont. Price drop. No one ever keeps up a 700 plus score. 181, he's going to drop even more. But it shouldn't matter to anyone because you should already have him. You shouldn't be waiting for him to drop in price. You should have already had him. If you don't have him, of course, wait. But you should have already got him. You're probably too far behind now. Oliver... we'll leave him till last just because everyone knows about the injury, right? So it's that sucks, man. But there's a couple of ways you can play around it, so it is pretty interesting. Dunkley, so with this, right, 7 o'clock Friday night, I had Zach Butters in. He would have been in the midfield. And I had someone else. I can't remember who. Might have been a rookie. No, who was it? It was a rookie, and he scored good. Damn, it's missing my mind. He scored 100, I think. 102. I can't remember who it is now. Yeah, I can't remember. It's not going to come to me. Maybe it's down here. Humphrey. Yeah, Humphrey I was going to bring in. So, 7 o'clock, reversed it. Brought in Goulden instead because of, their whole midfield is missing. So, went with him, and I went with Hobbs, which, looking back on it, I probably shouldn't have. Now, will he make cash? He will make a lot of money. He's playing, like, sole midfield because I haven't got anyone else. 28 break even. He should be able to be in the 90s, but yeah. So, anyway, that's why Dunkley's in the midfield, not in the forward line. Dunkley was really good. I thought he was probably the best on. Yeah, between him and like Ashcroft played all right. Neil was obviously pretty good. I don't know, probably. I don't know. Laird, again, Ballarat game. It's a bit weird to call those games just because it's not a stadium that's used a lot, so it's very select data on it. Yeah, I don't think Laird was ever in conversation for me to vice or captain. Speaking of vice and captain, oh my god, what a shit week. Took it off like Oliver to put it on Goulden. That was terrible. Took it off, like I think the other one would have. No, it was going to be Merritt. Oh, I was talking myself up into Merritt the whole week, and then last second I switched back to Darcy. That was annoying. Just because I thought Darcy would dominate Segler, but it just didn't happen. But yeah, Laird was never really in conversation for it, but still a great score and great game from him. Tom Green was pretty good. Didn't catch this one because it was kind of like a resident sleeper game. They kept it close, good on GWS for keeping it close, but yeah, wasn't watching that game at all. Merritt, like I said, he went off, and he does it against Richmond. That's why I was so ready to put the C on him, but against West Coast, I probably have to, right? When do they play? 11. I keep swapping back and forth. I should just leave it. Saturday, Merritt into like Dacos or something, or Goulden into Merritt, Bont into Merritt. I guess not Bont into Merritt, but like, I don't know. You could do some things this week. If you had Steele, maybe, or even Marshall. Marshall might not be a terrible one. Rosie was insane. Him and Butters were so good this week. By far the players of the round. Butters being number 1, and then Rosie being like a distant number 2, but he's still number 2. They looked insanely good, and just off that game, it's probably given a lot of Port fans hope that they can challenge for a flag. Wait and see, because again, Butters does play very dangerously. A lot of head over the ball, goes into a contest head first. That's one easy way to cop a hip, like a hip to the head, and there you're concussed. Like that can happen. Butters, he's not like the most aerial threat ever, but like if he gets up there, he can come down and hurt himself. All of it's like contact injuries, which I guess is better than non-contact. But yeah, we'll see how it goes come September. But they look good right now. Probably the best Port's looked in a long time. Will Day was disappointing. I don't even understand how. I'm not talking about the game because I will go on for half an hour about it. But they dominated. So they should have... I don't know. He should have got more of it. This is looking like a D7, M9 type of spot here for Day. I don't think I'm going to trade him just because of the potential for high scores. But I might have to reconsider how I'm going to be trading and use him as an extra premium. Maybe it means I keep Constable all year, and it gives me someone like I can swap with Day to get him in defense if I want to loop the final spot, or in the midfield if I want to loop the final spot. It's a bit... It sucks that it's like that, but it is what it is. He can still pump out a big score. Like he's still averaging over 90, which it's not the worst ever. Matthew Johnson, got it right first time this week. Matthew Johnson was the sub. At least he scored 37, hit his break even, everything. 21, still hittable. We'll see if he's named. I'm guessing he's going to be the permanent sub now that Fife's back. There's no harm in playing him, honestly. He looks good as a sub. Maybe they like him as a sub, though. Maybe he looks too good as a sub. Harry Sharp I thought he was pretty good. I thought he was solid. He didn't do anything wrong. Should keep his spot. We'll see how it goes, though, because I think there are people battling for a spot in Brisbane. You got like Barry and stuff in the 2s, who's probably the quality of player that should be in the 1s. But it's good to have that type of thing because it keeps pressure on people. Wait and see with Sharp. I hope that's not a dead rookie because that would kill me. The Rucks, Marshall was pretty good. I thought Marshall was a little underscored, going against Flynn, who gives up some big scores. And then Darcy was kind of like not good, considering his opponent was Jonathan Segler. Yeah, like he should have been able to do better than 91. Didn't even scrape the ton. And it didn't look good for about half the game. Expected way, 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 way better from him. Forwards, Taranto was good in the Dreamtime game. Goulden was... I mean, he was tagged. I get it. He couldn't have scraped 100. Yeah. Get an extra touch or two. Scrape 100. No. Okay. I don't think it's a failed trade-in or anything because the role is that it's still there. But I should have gone with Butters. I should have gone with Butters. And I know I should have, but can't get them all right. Cornelio, I thought he was actually a bit better than Green was, just from highlights and stuff like that. But, you know, when you watch the game in highlights, it doesn't show you the bad things they do. Samson Ryan, yeah, salute, mate. You've done a good job as the, final forward and stuff like that. Given some great scores, but it's time for you to leave. Your cash gen is dead. 71 is actually hittable, but with Nank in the team, not happening. Hobbs, I spoke about this before. Merritt is still the go-to guy. Shield was out. Parrish was out. Someone else was out. Can't think of it. Caldwell, I don't think was named. I think I'm making it up now. But with all the guys out, he had to play midfield. So it was like, all right, 300 something K. It was like 313, I want to say, 320. 330. So I was like, all right, I'll take a punt here. 83 against Brisbane, who's a tougher team to score against. I'll take the punt here. West Coast, North, Freo, Adelaide, West Coast, North. Good enough for me. At least until his bye of 14, get some people in that are going to be playing in 15. It does help. 15 is going to be the one everyone struggles with. So to have someone out on 14, not too big an issue. It means I'll have someone for 15. And by then he should be able to make a bit of cash so I can upgrade him to a real player. Seamus Mitchell, again, I'm not talking about the game, but Hawks rookies all looked good, honestly. Apart from Will Day, Mitchell looked good. Mitchell Lewis looked really good, but I mean, he's one of my favourite forwards to watch anyway. Weddle looked really good. Connor Nash, not as young, but still in the young core, looked really good. Everyone looked good. Probably promising signs for Hawthorn to see that their guys do have some potential. Comburn kept him, still hurt, can't drop in price. And then Angwin, I think, was also the sub. He sucks. I think this is the last week he's going to make money. But I can't trade him this week. Got bigger problems to deal with. So, on to trades. Oliver done his hammy. I don't think it's completely pulled it or anything, but he's done something to it, right? I think it's just a strain. I've heard reports of 3 to 4. I've heard reports of over a month, just in quotations, a month. I've also seen 1 to 2. No one has the definitive answer, but that's just how hamstrings are. To say, okay, this week he's out. He's not playing this week. Next week, you're already in the buys. It's best 18. Sure, are you missing someone? That sucks. But as long as you have a playing rookie, you'll still make best 18. Even me, with my terrible bench, that's 18. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Guys I'm bringing in this week is 19. So I'll be able to make 18 pretty easily. And then it's 13, which I think is his buy. Yeah, 13 is his buy, so you wouldn't have got him anyway for that one. Again, 18 on 5. 18 of 13 is not his buy. I thought he was a 13. Guess not. But anyway, look how many I've got playing in 13. I've got almost the whole team here. And then you got 14, which that must be his. Yeah. So 14 you were going to miss. So really, you're missing him for 3 weeks. So the whole thing of 3+, you have to trade him. You hit exactly 3 basically. 14, he was already out. Yeah, like 14 doesn't count as injury. And then 15, he could be back. The issue here is, what if he's not back in 15? That means you've just held through here, sacrificed a bit of a score, and you haven't got anything out of it. But that's what are we at? 11. It's 1 week from it happening, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. 5 weeks, I've heard between 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, gives him 5. I think he'll be fine. So he's not a must trade. He's definitely not a must trade. Oh, what am I doing? I just want to clear the buys. Anyway, so you could trade him. Obviously, if you were to trade him, I would target Petrarca. I would target... Would I target Butters? I'd target Libba. Libba looks good this year. Any of these top guys, you know, like Dawson, if you don't have him, bring him in. Dunkley, if you don't have him, bring him in. Taranto, Laird, Walsh. Hold off on Walsh a little bit. Like I said, they're not that great this year, Carlton. If he gets forward, then obviously he's going to be good, but he's in a bit of doubt for that. I have seen the numbers. Yeah, I guess you've got Petrarca, Dawson, yeah, like those type of guys. Sarong, if you want to take a punt. Libba is pretty good as well, 120 average basically. Yeah, there are guys there. Yeah, there's definitely moves you can make. Personally, I'm thinking I'm not going to trade him and just field a Harry Sharp, loop with Matthew Johnson, go Samson Ryan out, and Combin out. So that would mean I get to put Dunkley back in the forwards, and I just get the forward out of the way. It would be McAndrew. Actually, you know what? I want to talk about him. The point cooker boy, Eddie Ford. So I know his brother, right? I love seeing this. You know, someone that I actually know is Supercoach relevant. He's a Supercoach relevant rookie that I'm probably going to be bringing in next week if he keeps his spot. He should. He played very, very good on the weekend, I thought. Yeah, that's just a great feel-good story. The kid from Point Cook is actually relevant. So, yeah, I love to see it. But this week, I think I'll be bringing in Lachlan McAndrew. So, Sydney have had ruck problems galore. They haven't pretty much had anyone that can keep the spot. Everyone's gotten hurt. Hickey has been hurt. Laddams has hurt himself. Amati can't really string games together. So now they're down to like McAndrew. Just have a look at Sydney's ruck list. It's going to show me mids only, is it? What if I just... Sure. They're going to give me everyone? Yeah, it is. Sydney. Laddams is injured. Hickey's injured. Owen, this guy doesn't exist. McAndrew's the only one really they've got left. So he should be able to get some time. I don't know how well he's going to score, but should get some games into it. Games equals cash. So that's what we're looking for. And then for the premium trade-in, I think I'm going to be going with Lachie Neale. Not having the greatest season of all time, but he's picking up. He's still a 109 average. You know, like how many players in history, like 109 equals bad? Like, look at his stats. He's still doing good. It's just he's getting so much attention put into him. You know, the schedule's good as well. Adelaide is not the worst ever. I mean, it's at Adelaide, which isn't the greatest. Hawthorn is, you know, second bottom. West Coast is in there. Richmond's in there. Saints and Sydney, both teams you can score against pretty well. It's got a 187 against Sydney. Gold Coast is in there still. Collingwood's pretty tough this year, especially at Marvel. That's a weird place to put that game. Freo, his schedule's pretty good. And it's also a good buy for me to bring in. So, McAndrew, when is your buy? He's playing 15. There we are. That's what we need. 14 he's playing. 13 he's playing. He's around 12. That's not the worst ever. I can find players for that one. Yeah, so that's what I'll be doing this week. It's between Neil and Steele. So what am I doing? So for Steele, it's 30k cheaper. Gives me a bit more in the bank just in case something pops up. I did have an extra 100k, but I spent it on Hobbs over a rookie. Not the greatest in hindsight, but there was no injury news on Saturday, so I went to Hobbs. I didn't see any injuries, so how would I have known? Not too sure of who I'm going to pick out of these two. I think Neil does have the better schedule of the two of them. I mean, Hawks is still in there, Richmond's still in there, West Coast, North, Hawthorn again. Two Richmond games at Marvel, at the G, and then a long stretch of Marvel games here. That cannot be allowed. What is that? Marvel away, Marvel, Marvel. That's rigging. They want the Saints in the finals. I haven't seen that before. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 home games. Alright, I'm not going to keep going on that. That's insane. For now, it's Neil. We'll see what I do. Let me know what you guys do, and I'll see you all next week. Tasty out.